some weed in
I want you to grind me up, roll me like you love me, make it last enough, stroke me while you smoke me.
Hey baby, welcome back to my channel. We are back for another review of Married at First Sight, Season 18, Episode 15, Cheat and Retreat. This episode was a shit show. It was filled with a lot of drama and suspense and buckery, to say the least. And I was here for it. Let's just get into the episode. Gonna be kind of like more commentary than review because it is 12:25 Eastern time. I did a review for episode 14 like earlier this afternoon and had a lot of technical difficulties. I just got the review up and yeah, so that one just got uploaded. And so I finished the episode, just finished the show not too long ago, about an hour ago. And finished my editing and everything for my last review after I finally got it uploaded to my computer. So, full review, but condensed. So let's go. Michelle is disturbed. She's not well. I have never seen someone so invested on getting information about something that they had no interest in the beginning, to begin with. Like, you did not want this man. You were not interested in this man. You did not like this man, that be David. But when you found out he had interest in someone else, now it's all, I need to get to the bottom of this. How could you betray me? I've been trying to see if we had something so I could try and see if this could work. No, you didn't, girl. You never liked that man. You never wanted that man. You was in the bathroom crying at the wedding. So how could you possibly want to see if anything could be? Michelle, why? Why? Nobody likes you. And you know it. And she steady want to know, well, if I don't believe you, how can I get you? Why should you expect me to believe you? And how can I believe you now and now convince me to believe you? You are dead set on not believing him. So there is nothing that he could do even if he was being truthful. Let's just say, for the sake of argument, David was being truthful and he wanted to reconcile his wrong. Even if he was being truthful, if you are dead set on not wanting to believe someone, you're not going to believe them. So going around in this dead end roundabout, asking him, why should I believe you now? How do I know you're telling the truth? And basically convince me that you're telling the truth is pointless. But she was hell-bent on doing this song and dance the entire retreat, the entire weekend. And she did, until she got what she wanted accomplished. We saw what happened last episode at the little dinner. This episode, her and David had some exchanges, still talking about Tiffany. Everything about Michelle, she just has this stick up her butt. Like, nothing about her is relaxed or just easygoing. It can't be easy. She makes things difficult. Even in settings with the ladies, it's going to be some type of tension. And I saw on the X thread, Twitter thread, that people were extending her kudos, talking about for allying with MM, and I'm like, bullshit. I'm not giving her no points for nothing, because that alliance right there, that was some BS. Because she thought that she could bounce misery off MM. She thought that she was going to be able to get intel. That was nothing more than she thought that MM would be a commodity. She thought she could get intel out of MM. Nothing more, nothing less. And so MM had her own drama going on. But MM knew the tea, and she knew what was up already, because when Michelle was talking to MM and Camille about said situation, and she was just saying she got this, I'm paraphrasing, I forgot the word that she used, but she was like, because one word she kept using was spiraling. Another word, I'm just going to say, she got this nagging feeling that it's Madison and all this stuff about Madison. And there was this moment where MM and Camille had this eye contact, and they just looked at each other like, bitch, you hear this chick? They know. They already know. What's even more messed up, it appears to seem like the producers might have had an inkling of what might have been going on. They can't tell me that they don't know what's going on. Y'all the producers, get out of here. You trying to tell me y'all just not around these people just willy-nilly? They didn't sign ironclad contracts. So whether we see it, whether it's filmed for viewer consumption, or whether it's in the background, they are still held to that contract. I'm believing if something happened, it happened, even if we didn't see it. So y'all can't tell me that these people don't know what's going on behind the scenes. So for producers to act like they are oblivious, miss me with that. So basically the whole episode was Michelle playing Inspector Gadget. What really got up under my skin is when she went on a campaign and pulled Alan into it. Alan around here cooking for everybody and just being a just good guy and just being Alan. And she pulls him to the side because nobody's rallying with her. They have basically just dismissed Michelle because Michelle forget, see, in her mind, she feels justified in her behavior from the beginning. She doesn't see where she made any errors. She feels like she was right in all of her actions, from after the wedding, the honeymoon, after the honeymoon, and ongoing. She does not see where she did anything where it could have been maligned. She doesn't. She is totally oblivious to her behavior. But she is quick and aware to point out someone else's misgivings. It's as most people are. But she took it upon herself to go out of her way to pull Alan to the side and talk to him about her inklings and her feelings that have been toiling in her about this possible tryst between David and Madison. But I don't think she kept trying to brush it off like, but I don't want to think that's what it is. I don't want to think that's what it is. She would allude to it, but then she would back off from it like she was trying to come at David. Excuse me. She was trying to come at Alan like, but I don't want you to feel like there's anything to worry about. This is me. This could be just me. So I don't want to give you anything to be alarmed about. Human nature. You're planting a seed and it's going, you're planting a seed and you're watering it. Will it not grow? And not only did it grow, it blossomed. His whole demeanor changed. He started to cry, and that hurt my feelings. That hurt my feelings. I'm not one that gets, some people will be like, oh, I can't stand to see a man cry. I'm like, why? They don't feel no ways tied when they see us cry. So why I'm feeling any kind of way when I see him cry? He ain't my daddy. I don't care. But that hurt me when I saw it. It made me feel bad because he's an incidental beneficiary of her misery. She's a miserable, insufferable cunt. And I don't know if it's some other sick person out there that really believes I can make them better. No, they are damaged. They need to do some self-work. Ike, Michelle, David, Madison, MM. They need to do self-work because while they may excel in certain areas of their life, they have some deficiencies that they need to try and bring up. Just bring them up a little bit. It's strange because we hardly even saw Thomas and Camille. They like the old couple. They was in the room, in the bed, somewhere. And you know what? Further distance, better friends. That's what my granddaddy always said. Stay out the mess. Just hear about it later. Just stay out of it. Juan and Carla, while they were on the perimeter of the bullshit, they steered clear. And rightfully so. Because as She didn't want that energy jumping off on her. And I don't think Juan wanted it jumping off on him. They played a game at some point in time during this retreat, asking these crazy ass questions. It was called Who is More Likely To? I feel like this was producer contrived because the questions were very, very messy. Now, I don't know if they wanted them to ask these questions or if the couples came up with these questions, because they were asking questions like, who's more likely to cheat? This was the one I liked. Who's more likely to get killed by, and I'm paraphrasing, who's more likely to get killed by the monster in a scary movie? The monster in the scary movie. I think Juan said Alan. David said Michelle. And he was like, why you say Michelle? He was like, just because. I say because he want her dead. He want her deceased. He want the monster to get her and take her out. He is like, I'm so over her. I wish a monster would come in and take her from me. That was funny. He was like, just because. Oh man. And then the culprit behind the messy questions, surprisingly, was MM. I'm like, oh girl, you done went through all the things that you done been through, so you was like, I'm gonna start a little mess. And that she did. She was the one asking the real penetrating questions. But the whole exchange, their interaction, well, I understand it's a lot of tension. So it was very awkward, very cringe. Just made it very uncomfortable. You got some people that you can tell are comfortable, like Juan and Carla and Alan, because at this point he's clueless. Camille, Thomas, but then there's this pensiveness in the air, this uneasiness, and it just made it very, like I said, very cringe. Then we have Michelle decides she wants to have a conversation, a little quickie, with Madison. And she pulls Madison to the side and she starts going through timeline of her being Madison, going out with Carla, David, and Alan. With Carla, David, and Alan, and their timeline of their outing and all this stuff. So then she asks Madison, did David mean to text you? Did he send you the text? She was like, well, no, I don't think so. I'm like, She's like, well, why would he text me? When people start asking questions with questions, become very tuned in, but real focused. You don't think so? She's like, well, I don't know. I don't think so. If the text If the text was for you, she said, was the text for you? I was like, bitch, no. Why? No. The fuck? If she would have asked me that, I would have been like, bitch, no. The fuck? Text me? No. See, I probably would have became insulting. I'm like, I don't want that pound puppy looking motherfucker. Like, what the? He wears his hair in an ugly, untamed man bun that he thinks is attractive. He looks ungrown. Like, he got bags on his face. He looked like Boo Boo, the dog, Yogi Bear's son, Boo Boo, with the droopy face. That's what David looked like to me. Boo Boo. So she just interrogating this girl, and Madison sitting there nervous and with the fake nervous laugh and answering all suspect. And I'm like, girl, get out the room now. So Michelle let her go, but it wasn't over. Also, I noticed Madison was doing a lot of damage control as it pertains to Alan. She was doing a lot of hanging out with him when she would hardly ever hang out with this man. I was like, why are you faking the funk? These people are a lot of gaslighters, and I'm serious. If I was watching this, ain't no way I would look at them and be like, I could make them better. They just didn't meet the right person. No, there is no person for them. Unless it's another sicko. Clearly, Michelle was content with just putting David down. She was content just treating him like nothing. And the putting down stopped. Y'all notice the putting down part stopped when she found out somebody else was in the picture. Could possibly be in the picture. All of the putting down stopped. Then it just became, oh, you lied, you lied, you lied. And she started hopping on. You said you were such a good guy. And she sounded like she was saying stuff like, oh, you said you were such a good guy. You said you would never disrespect me. You would never hurt me. You want to do all this stuff for me. And I'm like, those are the things that are recited by people who it matters to. Why are you even repeating these things when it never even mattered to you, Michelle? Whether he did it or not, it was neither here nor there to you. It made no difference. So for you to be like, oh, you said that you wanted to do this for me and you would never disrespect me. You would never hurt me. You would never lie to me. You want to take care of me. And now you go out and do this. But you ain't meeting him halfway. And while I don't condone cheating, whether it be physical, whether it be emotional, I don't condone it. Like, this is, they say when you put a transition like but however on the other hand in the front of your statement, it negates the statement you just made. So I'm going to do it. Nevertheless, I don't know what she expected. You can't keep punching somebody in the face and expect them to keep standing there. Eventually they'll walk away. I did not like that they both, being David and Madison, kept lying until, I don't know, one of the producers, I think his name was Joey Joseph something, went and had a conversation with Madison. He was asking her, is there any truth to any of this? This heifer sat up in there talking about, I don't know. Girl, you didn't tell me everything I need to know. Shut up. She said, I don't know. Yes, it's some truth to it. And Joy already knew it too. I wonder who sent him in there. Who sent Sissy Pop in there to ask that question? Then we see Madison go to David's room. He fake sleeping. She says she want to talk to him. Then in this little exchange, they confess and profess their like for each other, like school kids, like high school kids. And she talking about, it's like a love story. I'm like, a love story? A love story? And then David decides, well, I want to tell you something. You didn't know it, but the text that I sent, it was for you. Bitch, I'm starting to believe it was meant for a bitch named Virginia. Like, it probably wasn't meant for Madison. It was probably meant for one of Michelle's friends. Like, it probably wasn't even meant for Madison. And the other thing that got me is when Michelle was talking to Madison and giving her reasoning behind her suspicion. She said, well, I know that you're David's type. She said, why? Because I'm blonde? She said, well, yeah, but you're David's type. Let's just run down David's type. Yes, she's blonde and she's white. David said clearly when we were introduced to him that his type is a white woman. He likes white girls. He likes blonde girls. So you were his type too, Michelle, sans the attitude. You're white and you're blonde. So both of you are his type. You see what I'm saying? So I don't know what type of what point she was trying to make there. She was like, but I know you're his type. Well, you were his type too. You're the same. Maybe that's just me. I don't know. After that, I guess David felt like he had the green light, but I felt like it was a punk move that he thought he was being a man about it. I thought it was a punk move because Madison should have been having that conversation first with her husband instead of you going and talking to Alan. But instead of Madison going and talking to Alan, it was David who went and had a conversation with Alan about he and Madison basically having an affair, okay? Saying that they got feelings for each other and all this foo-la-la. So again, Alan expresses his hurt. He said, I considered you a friend. But the mic drop for me was when he said, do you really feel like y'all can have something? David said, yeah. Alan said, go for it, brother. And got up out that chair and walked off. David didn't know what to do. He talking about Alan, wait. Alan, wait, bro. Alan didn't turn around. He didn't skip. He didn't stumble. He didn't trip. He kept walking, and he walked up them stairs, and he walked in that door of that house and slammed that door. I said, I know you fucking right. Mic drop. He said, have at it. I know that's right. He came in that house. He said, bitch, I'm not staying here. I'm done. I'm not staying here no more. Cause that's humiliating. Y'all playing in my face. Y'all making me look stupid. You think I'm finna sit here after I done heard all of this? She done came to me and put me up on game already. Now you done came to me and confirmed what she done told me. And you think I'm gonna sit up in here and all of this going on in my face? Like, if he sit back and run stuff back like when they was at the dinner table and Michelle was talking and then Alan talking, David cutting him off saying, bro, you don't need to entertain that. You don't need to talk. If he run that back through his mind, he going to get upset all over again. He going to get upset all over again. He going to want to punch David in the face again like he did in that boxing ring. So he said he not staying there. So he started throwing and punching stuff. So Juan tried to talk to him. He want to be the voice of reason. Look, that man is hurt. He is upset right now. Have his back. All you do is have his back. Ain't no voice of reason. Ain't no voice of reason. Have his back and be like, you got every right to feel the way you feel and feel what you feel. You are entitled to feel your feelings. So I'm just here. I'm just a buffer. That's all I am. Just to make sure, just to make sure you straight. But no, he want to be the voice of reason. It's like, go sit your mustache ass down somewhere. Then MM come out there. She went out there. She gave him a hug. She gave him some love, energy. That was good. Alan said, I spent $3,000 on all these clothes for this bitch. He said, I just spent $3,000 on all these clothes for this bitch. And they had the audacity to tell this man to keep it respectful. I was like, listen, you feel the way you feel when somebody play in your face and disrespect you. And you gonna let me feel how I'ma feel, okay? Until you in my position, don't tell me how to speak. Don't chastise me. That's one thing I don't play. At my old ass age, what you're not gonna do is chastise me. You can only make suggestions or recommendations. I will take a suggestion. I'll think about it. And if it is of sound logic, after I calm down, I'll say, you know what? They were right. And I shouldn't conduct myself that way. Despite my feelings, that behavior is inappropriate. You know, I might. Or I might say, that. That's how I was feeling. When I calm down, I'll recalibrate. I'll be all right. And it'll pass. This too shall pass. In the meantime, bitch, this is how I feel. And I'm going to feel what I'm feeling. I'm not going to let nobody stifle my feelings. So they telling him keep it respectful. He said, when have I not been respectful? I've been respectful this whole goddamn time. Y'all not gonna make it seem like I have disrespected this hoe. I said, I know that's right, Alan. Speak on it. So Alan said, I'm getting out of here. I'm getting my shit and I'm going. They was like, you ain't in no condition to drive. He said, look, I'm not stupid. I never said I was driving. He said, I'm a lot of things, but I'm not stupid, okay? I said I was leaving, and that's what I'm doing. So either they had he called transportation, or they had arranged transportation contacted. He got into transportation and he went on about his way. But before he left, Madison up in the crib, when he went back in the house, this heifer had the audacity to come out. Does he want a conversation? Is he looking for a conversation? She heard clack, clack, boom. She was like, oh, I guess he doesn't. Yeah. And he said he was getting his stuff. He was like, I don't want to see her. He was like, y'all better make sure that room is clear, because I don't want to see her. And say, clear the room. Clear the room. She better go hide in the bathroom. And then Michelle pulls Madison in the bathroom. There's a meeting in the ladies' room. Hey. I said, oh, they finna fight in the bathroom. She said, so you got anything to say for yourself? Bitch, not to you. Did y'all notice how Michelle was like really harping and asking people, let me see your phone. I want to look in your phone. Like, bitch, do you pay my bills? I don't listen. I don't care how many lies were told. I don't care. I don't feel like Michelle had the right to ask Madison, or even David for that matter, to look in their phone. You don't have the right. Now, Madison offered. She was like, you want to see my phone? I'll show you my phone. So she showed her phone. When she was like, well, can I see this? And that's when I would have said, no. Because I'm an adult. Or I would have told her, sure, I'll show you. If you're willing to risk an ass whooping. Because if I show you what you want to see, I'm going to have to tap that ass. I'm going to have to put my hands on you. Is what you want to see worth you getting your ass beat? I want you to think long and hard about that. Ask yourself that before we continue with this process. I think Michelle would have retracted and retreated. So, yeah, in a nutshell, that was the episode. It went round and round in circles because of Michelle. It was the Michelle show. It was a Michelle shit show. And she caused a lot of hurt. And it was unnecessary. Absolutely. Next episode should be very interesting. One scene in particular, because apparently experts are going to inquire, have David and Madison been intimate? David still trying to hold on to this good guy image that I never bought into. But for those who did, he wants them to still buy into it. And he said, no, he and Madison have not been intimate. Dr. P and I, editing, they chop and screw stuff before we see it. But I believe that these scenes were in line in the commercial. And she was like, I'm going to have to stop you right there, because she said, you lying. So I'm like, oh, he lying, Dr. P. He lying, girl. Dr. P said David was lying. So we gonna see. We are going to see. I'm just glad it's almost over. I'm tired of seeing all of them. I'm just tired. I don't know what made me think that I wanted to come back to this show. I left it for a reason. And I came back to it. But it's okay. It's okay. It is okay. Leave your comments in the comment section if you want to. It's whatever. Like, comment, share, subscribe to the channel. I am gone. I'm tired. I'm going to bed. Thank y'all so much for watching. And until next time, bye.